Hi, good morning children. In last class, we discussed something from our second chapter, Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Okay? Then, we understood something from that topic. The society, there is three groups of people, that is liberals, radicals, and also conservatives. Okay, liberals, radicals, and conservatives. And also we discussed their own views and their own opinion. Okay, then there is, firstly we discuss about liberals. Okay, what is their opinion about the society? We know that liberals, that is a group which aimed at changing the society. The liberals aim changing the society was that of the liberals. Liberals wanted a nation which tolerated all religions. They demanded a nation. What is the speciality of that nation? Yes, tolerated all religion. There is no need of any classification. They want to accept all religion. Then they wanted a representative elected parliamentary government. Liberals wanted a representative elected parliamentary government but did not believe in the universal adult franchise. They demanded a parliamentary form of government, but that is not a universal adult franchise. Okay, we know that universal adult franchise is a speciality. Yes, above 18 years old, that person have a right to vote. According to liberals, they need parliamentary form of government but don't want universal adult franchise. Okay, that is the speciality of liberals. Then next we discussed radicals. Radicals wanted a government based on majority of a country's population. They wanted a government, but what is the speciality? Majority of the population. Okay, which category of population included in that country? The majority of that. Then they supported universal adult suffrage. Unlike liberals, they supported universal adult suffrage. Who supported? Radicals supported, including vote for women. Universal adult suffrage and also the right to vote. In which category? Women also. Then another speciality, they opposed privilege of the landlords and the industrialists. Okay, they opposed the privileges of the landlords and industrialists. That is another speciality of the radicals. And also they were not against the existence of private property but opposed concentration of property in a few hands. Okay, concentration of property only few hands, they opposed that system. Somebody have private property, they supported that, but few people accumulate our property, they opposed that system. Next category of people, that is the conservatives. What is the speciality of conservatives? They opposed to liberals and radicals. Conservatives opposed liberals and radicals. In the 18th century, they were generally opposed to the idea of change. They generally opposed the idea of change. By the 19th century, they accepted that some changes were necessary. 18th century, on that time, they completely avoided the change. But what happened in 19th century? On that time, they demanded, oh, here needs some changes. Then, they were not against the existence of private property. Here, they believed in old or past traditions and customs. Listen, in the 19th century, they accepted that some changes were necessary, but through a slow process. There need some changes, that is necessary, but that is not a sudden process. It is a slow process. Then they believed in old or past traditions and customs. They believed old and past traditions and customs. Okay. Three category of here is different notions of liberals and also radicals and conservatives we discussed. Okay. Then continuation for this. Here a new topic, industrial society and social change. Today we want to discuss this topic, industrial society and social change. Okay. These political trends were signs of a new time. It was a time of profound social and economic changes. It was a time of profound social and economic changes. Okay, here a complete change, not only social change, at the same time economic change also. It was a time when new cities came up and new industrial regions developed. There is new cities came up, new industries developed, and everything is developed. Railways expanded and the industrial revolution occurred. There is industrial revolution occurred, railway expanded, then new cities came up, new industrial region developed. Okay. Industrialization brought men, women and children to factories. Listen, industrialization brought there is men, women and children. Work hours were often long and wages were poor. Listen, here is industrialization. It brought, what is the after effect of the industrialization? Who are included in this? Okay, men, women and children, they are the factory workers or they work in factories. There is working hours long, wages were poor. Long hours work, but wage very poor. That is the condition. Then unemployment was common, particularly during the time of low demand for the industrial goods. Unemployment, what do you mean by unemployment? Tolilama. That is a common incident, especially in which time? Okay, low demanding time of the industrial goods. Industrial goods in demand illatha samayathe unemployment, that is a main problem. Then housing and sanitation were problem since towns were growing rapidly. Housing and sanitation, that is another problem. Okay. Housing and sanitation. Sanitation, here is toilet facility. Okay. We want to keep the hygiene. Toilet facility, housing, that also demanded. Housing and sanitation were problem since towns were growing rapidly. Liberals and radicals searched for solution to these issues. Liberals and radicals, they searched to solve these issues. What are the issues? There existed one system. What is that? Long hours work, very low wage. Then unemployment is the another important problem. Especially which time? Here is a low demand for industrial goods on that time. Then housing and sanitation were the another problem. When it mainly started, since were growing. Listen, since towns were growing, towns grow up cheyda samayathe there existing one problem, that is the housing and sanitation. Liberals and radicals searched to solve how we can solve this problem. Who think about liberals and radicals? Then almost all industries were the property of individuals. Listen, almost all industries were the property of individuals. All industries property, that is in private property, or the property of individuals. Liberals and radicals themselves were often property owners and employers. Liberals and radicals themselves were often property owners and employers. Liberalsum, radicalsum, often property owners and employers. ചിലപ്പോൾ അവരാരായിരിക്കും ഈ property owners അല്ലെങ്കിൽ employer ആയിരിക്കും. Who are included? Liberals and radicals. That's why they want to solve this problem. Which problem? Housing and sanitation facility. That issue want to solve. Then Having made their wealth through trade or industrial ventures, they felt that such effort should be encouraged, that its benefit would be achieved if the workforce in the economy was healthy and citizens were educated. Listen, here liberals and radicals themselves were often property owners and employers. ഒരു സ്വയം പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി ഓണേഴ്സ് എംപ്ലോയേഴ്സായിട്ട് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാണ് ഹൂ ലിബറൽസ് ആൻഡ് റാഡിക്കൽസ്. Having made their wealth through trade or industrial ventures, they felt that such effort should be encouraged. എന്താണ് എൻകറേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? വാട്ട് ദേ വാണ്ട് ടു എൻകറേജ്, എന്താണ് പ്രോത്സാഹിപ്പിക്കേണ്ടത്? That its benefits would be achieved if the workforce in the economy was healthy and citizens were educated. Healthy citizen, educated and at the same time healthy people. Okay, that type of workforce needed. Opposed to the privileged, the old aristocracy had by birth, they firmly believed in the value of individual effort, labor and enterprise. Opposed to the privileges, the old aristocracy. We know that there is old aristocracy, somebody privileged by birth. ജന്മനാ തന്നെ privileged ആയിട്ട് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Here no need that type of privileges. Here want to consider who are the best person. How? Listen, the individual effort. They firmly believed in the value of individual effort, labor and enterprise. ഓരോ വ്യക്തികളെയും അവരുടെ എഫേർട്ടിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യണം. Then, if freedom of individuals was ensured, if the poor could labor and those with capital could operate without restraint, they believed that societies would develop. Without restraint. What do you mean by restraint? Means control. Without control, they believed that the society would develop. Okay, the freedom, they can decide everything. Automatically the society developed. Many working men and women who wanted changes in the world rallied around liberal and radical groups and parties in the early 19th century. Many working men and women who wanted changes in the world. Many of them worked, especially men and women. For what purpose they engaged in these activities? Because here needs some changes in the world, rallied around the liberal and radical groups and parties in the early 19th century. Underline that. Okay. All of you listen. Industrial society and social change. The second paragraph related to this paragraph, here is one question arises. All of you want to write that question in your textbook. You use only pencil. When you write anything in your textbook, you use only pencil. In which place want to write? Listen, here is the second paragraph. You want to write this question here. Okay, what is the question? All of you want to write this question. What social changes were seen? What social changes were seen in the society after industrialization? What social changes were seen in the society after industrialization? What social changes after industrialization? Okay. What are the social changes? Yes, industrialization brought, you want to underline this, industrialization brought men, women and children to factories. It is the first point. Okay, that means here is some social and economic changes. Okay, listen, it was a time of profound social and economic changes. That is the introductory line. Before that, the first paragraph, there is included this line. Which line? Yes, it was a time of profound social and economic changes. It is the introductory line. Then you want to write point wise. What is the first point? Industrialization brought men, women and children to factories. Then second point, working hours were often long and wages were poor. Third point, unemployment was common, particularly during times of low demand for industrial goods. Then what is the fourth point? Yes, housing and sanitation were problem since towns were growing rapidly. Okay. What is the reason behind it? Is in here is housing and sanitation is the main problem. But you add this sentence also. Okay, growing rapidly. Then you add this. Due to the immigration of the people. Due to the immigration of the people. The immigration എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മറ്റുള്ള സ്ഥലത്തു നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വരിക. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ ഇമിഗ്രേഷൻ. യു ഓൾറെഡി സ്റ്റഡീഡ് earlier class. I mean 8th standard. Immigration, in migration. That is the immigration. Okay. Listen. Immigration of people or workers from rural to the urban areas. Workers from rural to the urban areas. Okay. Then last point, this paragraph's last sentence, page number 27, there is a last sentence. Many working men and women who wanted changes in the world rallied around liberal and radical groups and parties in the early 19th century. It is the last line. Okay, listen. From this topic, we wrote one question. What is that question? What social changes were seen in the society after industrialization? Okay, what are the changes? We discussed that. Okay, then continuation for this. Next paragraph. That answer is over. Okay. Then listen, page number 27, second paragraph. Some nationalists, liberals and radicals wanted revolutions to put an end to the kind of government established in Europe in 1815. Some nationalists, liberals and radicals, they demanded or they wanted a revolution. Revolution means revolt. What is the meaning of revolution or revolt? Viplava. They demanded or they wanted this revolution. For what? To put an end to the kind of government established in Europe in 1815. 1815 Europe established started one government. They want to stop. They want to end this type of government. Okay. In France, Italy, Germany and Russia, they became revolutionaries and worked to overthrow existing monarchs. In France, Italy, Germany and Russia. Okay, here is different countries. Italy, Germany, France, Russia. They became revolutionaries and worked to overthrow existing monarchs. They started revolution. For what purpose there is revolution? Because they want to remove the monarch. Monarch means the king. All powers concentrated only one person. That is the monarch or king. But they demanded, they wanted this type of government. Okay, completely avoid or end this type of government. I mean monarchs. Okay. Nationalists talked of revolutions that would create nations where all citizens would have equal rights. Listen, nationalists talked of revolutions. Nationalists talked about revolution. For what purpose here is the revolution started? Revolution that would create nations. Here is the revolution create nations. ഓരോ വിപ്ലവങ്ങളും ഓരോ നാഷനെ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, where all citizens would have equal rights. They can create nations at the same time. All citizens have equal rights. The citizens have equal rights. After 1815, Giuseppe Mazzini, an Italian nationalist, conspired with others to achieve this in Italy. Okay, there is conspiration, a secret talking, secret discussion, ഗൂഢാലോചന. Okay. Nationalists elsewhere, including India, read his right. Nationalist, including India, okay, read his writings. അദ്ദേഹം എന്താണ് എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളത് അത് വായിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളവരാണ്. Okay. But here is a revolution would create nations and equality among the citizens. Okay. Is it clear? Here we discussed some more things related to this. Firstly, the society. Here is who are included? Yes, liberals, radicals, conservatives, now socialists also. They expressed their opinion. Okay. Then here is, we discussed these important things, that is the industrial society and social change. You want to read this part very carefully and also want to study this question answer. Okay, today we wrote one question. You want to study that question and answer. Okay, but to be continued on next class. Thank you, children.